Hi, I am Annika Rayburn, and I'm going to be going over Going Green in the Workplace for the class Business Communication Management 3510. Going green in the workplace, I feel like, is something that's had quite a heavy focus over the last year. A lot of us have been working remote from home, whether that be with school or our actual jobs, and a lot of us have been adapting to this new way of what we call life. Whether it will stay the same or go back to normal, I'm not quite sure anymore. But I do believe that it is important that companies start to be putting their green carbon footprint ahead of them versus behind them. So what I have here is what is the first thing that a company should do. I've also listed some simple facts. Each person in a business setting uses 500 disposable cups per year. Photocopies in an office can range from 300 to 400 billion per year. 21 million tons of paper are used each year. Just these simple things show a range of different ideas of why it's important for businesses to go green. One thing that offices can do is to cut down on paper in the workplace. Cutting down on paper can make a huge difference in offices' carbon footprints. Just changing to recycled pulp can save around 17 trees, 7,000 gallons of water, and around 390 gallons of oil. When you hear those numbers, it's honestly quite shocking to think that that's how much you'd be saving, yet there's so much more to save. Just using the recycled paper cuts down a lot, but to think if we could just simply go to all things online through email, faxing, or any other type of communication that we all use, think about how much you could cut down on. In a workplace, if one can focus more on just using recycled paper alone, there would be such a big difference in their business and how much carbon footprint they are allowing. Next, I want to discuss cutting out unnecessary waste. In any business, there are multiple ways to cut waste, more than one would think. Some examples are reduced packaging. In states such as California and Colorado, just from my own personal experience, when you go into stores such as Target, Whole Foods, or Walmart, they will charge you about 25 cents per plastic bag that you use to carry out your groceries. So you are more encouraged to use your own bags or bring cloth reusable bags when shopping. Encourage employees to use reusable Tupperware and bottles, as well as providing reusable kitchen utensils and dinnerware. Provide easy, accessible filtered water. And also, another neat thing that companies can do is to create teams that go out and do service work for their community. This is something that my job that I recently started with does. We do cut down on waste. We don't allow cups or anything like that that's plastic in our office, and we are encouraged to bring our own. I think implementing these things in an office can make a difference not only just for the business itself, but it can also teach employees these very useful tools for saving our planet. Next, I want to talk about changing up your commute to work. Touching on this topic obviously is not possible for all people and/or all cities, but when possible, this is a huge way to cut down on waste that is being emitted to the air. If your work is close enough that you are possible to walk, bike, or take public transit, then truly think about doing so. When you look at the facts, it's honestly shocking that around 100 million gallons of fuel is emitted into the air in urban cities with just traffic alone. What that means is when you're sitting on Poplar or Germantown Parkway on your way home from work and your car is just sitting there in an idle position, that means that you are going to be transmitting more gases and unhealthy fumes into the air. I know that for all people, this isn't necessarily possible, and even for myself, I do have to take a car to work. I wouldn't be able to walk the distance that I have to drive. But I will say, if you're in a city like New York or LA, potentially even Denver, or possibly downtown Memphis, it is possible to save on your carbon footprint and also save the planet while doing so. I also want to just continue with changing up your commute to work because you could also carpool with employees and/or people that work close to where you are that you know. Once you've begun working at a place, you'll make those connections and make those friends. So I definitely suggest carpooling with your employees. Not only does it save you money on gas, but it also is saving the planet. Lastly, I want to discuss using energy-efficient products. There are many things that go into making an office run smoothly, and the simplest things, down to the bulbs that hang over our heads, are one of those. I'm sure right now you're sitting at home and you have a lamp on or a light on in your room, or your TV's on, or you have a blow dryer on. There are so many things that we use that are energy supplied that we don't even think about. These are things that could have a simple change, whether that's just changing the light bulb or telling your employees to make sure that they've turned off their computer and unplugged it at the end of the day. When leaving your job, you're going to want to unplug your printer, your lamps, your scanners that will not be in use while you are gone. To wrap things up, I just want to talk about the most important points that I hit today. Cut down on paper products in every way possible. Use recycled paper if needing to use paper at all. Reduce packaging when and where you can, whether that be at work as well as the grocery store or shopping in general. Change up your commute to work by biking, walking, taking public transit, or by carpooling with coworkers. Change out your products to more energy efficient ones, and unplug your workspaces before you leave each day. I have also listed my references here, and thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope that you are able to go more green in your own workplace after hearing all of these ideas.